It's quite nice to have
It's quite
everyone
nice to have
here
everyone here
related
related
to
to
you understand,
you understand,
and
and
situations in
situations
terms of leadership
leadership
amongst the
amongst
nations,
the nations,
especially at this
especially
particular
at this
period
particular period
around the world.
the world.
To take too much of
Take
our
too
time, I
much
would
time out
speak that to
and
us,
speak that to
and then
us,
start with the
and
have
then
if
start
they
with
can
the how they
personally
can
give an
personally
introduction of
give an
themselves,
introduction of
then
themselves, then
get straight into
get
the
straight into the
program.
program.
You just state
You
the
just state
Ndwazi
the
want
Ndwazi
this.
you want this.
Okay, so
Okay,
we'll be
so
having
we'll be having three
three speakers on the
speakers
panel
on the panel.
this year in this area.
Area.
So Miss Miriam Toki
Miss
is a
Miriam Toki
lecturer
is
in
a
Oxford
Oxford
University, and she
University
volunteers
and
with
she volunteers
executive
with
program
executive program
and occupies
and
a seat
occupies
on
a
the
seat on the
executive board
board
on
on
UNSCG Student Hub
UNSCG
of the
student
Oxford
hub of all
University.
the
And
university.
she also doubles
And she
as a
also
campus
doubles as a
coordinator
campus
and
coordinator
developmental
and
lead.
developmental lead.
She is a research
She
staff
is a
at
research staff
staff
at staff
AIPA Turkey,
AIPA Turkey,
and she's
and
curious
she's
about
curious
tech
about
and
tech
AI and
and AI
projects that
and
centered around
projects
technology.
around.
So please let's welcome
So please
Miss
let's
Miriam.
welcome Miss Miriam.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we all
Can we all
hear
hear?
Dami, I can hear you.
I cannot hear.
But I think we
all
are, I
right?
think we are
All
echo.
right.
Echo.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, everybody's having
Well,
echo.
everybody's having echo.
Oh,
Oh,
well, really, I don't know
well,
what is
really, I don't know what is
responsible for that.
responsible for that.
No, there's no echo from my end. I can hear Dami very well.
Oh, there's no echo from
No,
your
Oh,
hand.
there's no echo from your hand,
But there seems to be.
but there seems to be.
no, what will happen is that I think Dami is talking now, but she mute herself. You don't mute yourself. Probably what you can do is that if you have echo from your mute when you are not speaking. So Dami,
Okay.
please go on.
Okay.
Hello, Dami, are you there?
Hello, Dami, are you there?
Dami, you can go on now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can everyone hear me now?
Hello, can everyone hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. And
All right.
the
And
echo is
I
the
can hear
echo
you
is. I
too.
can hear you too.
Yeah. Okay,
okay.
you
So
can
let's
go on.
continue.
Yeah.
So let's sorry for the breaking in the
Yeah. Sorry for the
transmission. So
breaking
now I'll be
situation.
introducing Mr.
Now I'll be
Blessed
introducing
Olasin.
Mr. Blessed
And Mr. Blessed
Olasin.
Olasin is
Mr.
a
Blessed
coach,
Olasin
is
is
a
a coach,
is a
is
certified website
a
developer
certified
and a
website
digital
developer and a
instructor.
digital
He's a
instructor.
reality speaker
He's
and
a
a minister
reality
of the
speaker and a
gospel
minister of the
with a mandate
gospel
of
with a
financial
mandate of
leadership and
financial
spiritual
leadership and
empowerment.
spiritual
He is the
empowerment.
founder and
He's the
president at
founder
the
and president at the
organization. That's the
organization.
Empower
That's the
Africa
Empower
Project,
Africa
the
project,
Business Hub
the
Africa,
Business
and the
Hub
Kingdom
Africa, and the
Crusaders
Kingdom Crusaders
International.
International.
Yeah, and then for our last
Yeah, and then for our last
speaker,
speaker,
we have Mr.
we have
Abiodun
Mr.
Adeleke,
Abiodun Adeleke,
who is a social
who is a
advocate, a
social
public
advocate,
speaker,
a
and
public
author.
speaker, an
He
author,
is
and a
an
playwright.
IT professional with
He
years
is
of
an IT
experience with
professional with
background
years
in
of
systems
experience, with
engineering
background in
and
systems
information
engineering and
security.
information
His passion for
security.
social and
His
economic
passion
change
for
led to the
social and
funding of the
economic change
Golden
led to
Washington
the
Spring
funding of the Golden
Foundation
Washington
and a
Spring
non-profit
Foundation
social
and a
impact and
non-profit
economic
social
empowerment.
impact and
He is
economic
centered
empowerment.
around
He
9
is centered
adopted
around
SDG
9
goals and is the
adopted
founder of
SDG
the host
and is the
organization,
founder
that's
of the
Golden
host
Spring
organization, that's
Foundation.
Golden
So we'll be
Spring
having all these
Foundation.
three
We'll be having
seasoned
all these
speakers
3 seasoned
speak on
speakers
intentional
speak on
leadership, especially
intentional
among the
leadership,
youth,
especially among the youth,
intentional nation building.
intentional nation
So I hope you
building.
guys will,
So I hope you guys will,
enjoy and go through with us.
enjoy
And I
and
should
go through with
mention
us.
that
And I
at
should
the end of the
mention that at the
program,
end of the
we would have
program,
a question and
we would have the
answer
question
session
and
where we get
answer
to
session where
engage
we
these
get to
people
engage these
to get
people
their
to
opinions
get
on
their
particular
opinions on
questions.
particular
And then at the
questions.
end of the day,
And then at the end of the day,
there's an
there's
opportunity for
an
mentorship
opportunity for
session
mentorship session where if you particularly find
you want to
that you want to engage beyond the platform, you can always send a message
We'll share
across.
the number.
We'll share the number across that you can reach
And
us
then
to.
once you
And
reach
then
us,
once you reach us, we'll
make plans
make
for
plans
the
for
mentorship
the
session.
mentorship session.
Okay. So now
Okay.
going forward,
So now going forward, we want
Miriam
Coffee to give us a personal
introduction of herself.
introduction of herself.
Okay, over to you, Miss
Okay,
Miriam.
over to you, Miss Miriam.
Well, actually, this is hard to hear you. Alright.
I didn't get that.
Can you repeat? Can you repeat?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Can you
Miriam.
please come again?
Hello, Miriam.
Come again, Miriam.
Hey, hey.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
So I said,
Can you give us a personal introduction of yourself?
Can you hear me, Miss
Can you hear
Miriam?
me, Miss Miriam?
Well, there are so many echoes.
And I cannot understand it.
Okay, so I didn't get that.
Okay, so I didn't get that.
So Miriam, we can hear you. Can you please go ahead?
Well, but I don't know the question exactly. Maybe you want to help me. I guess, right?
She's actually asking of your introduction.
My introduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I can go with that.
I'm a law student at Tobin University, and I am working on these more specifically on the it's all about the peace and others are climate actions and I am projects. These are going to be concluded at the summer. So I can sum up with that, right? And
Yeah.
I am actually some of the students club and also the board members. That's all.
That's all for now.
All right, thank you very much, Miss
Thank you
Miriam.
very much, Miss Miriam. That was a very beautiful
And it's so nice to meet
so
you.
nice to meet you.
Okay, so
Nice to
we have
meet you,
Mr.
too.
Nice to meet you,
Adeleke.
Adeleke.
Miriam.
Thank you,
So
Miriam.
have Mr. Adeleke.
So have Mr. Adeleke give us a personal introduction of himself.
Yeah, thank you, Dami.
Thank you,
My name is Abiodun Adeleke. I'm a founder CEO of Golden Spring Foundation. Actually, the organization is a social organization that our activities actually center around nine adopted SDG goals to make impact in the society, bring change to Africa, and impact future generations. There are more information about on our website. Golden Spring Foundation. On the internet, you can find more information about what we do there. But basically, it's about making impact in the society, bringing about change, and impacting the future, empowering young Africans.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeleke.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Introduction and
Adeleke.
introduction of the
Introduction
organization.
and
It was really nice having
It
you.
was really
sir.
nice having you, sir.
So on to the next.
Thank you.
On to the next.
Thank you.
I want Mr.
I would
Blessed
want
Olasin
Mr. Blessed
to
Olasin
give us
to give us
a
a
personal
personal
introduction
introduction about himself.
All right, thank you, Dami. I'm Blessed Olasin from Empower Africa Project. The vision of Empower Africa Project is to build a poverty-free continent by raising 1 million digital entrepreneurs in each country of Africa. We, of course, do that through digital skills training, entrepreneurship, and investment. And there is one of the projects that established Business of Africa, and at the same time, I'm a minister of the gospel. We have the Kingdom Crusaders International. The focus is all about impact. The focus is all about leadership. The focus is all about building a poverty-free continent. So, and I believe that today it's one of what we have today is one of the projects in that line. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was really nice hearing everyone. Before we move on, I would want to just give a introduction of myself before we move on to the second part of the discussion. So my name is Damilola Bakari. I'm nutrition specialist. So I do public speaking, content writing, everything related to communication, what I do and what I stand for. All right, so getting on into the discussion about intentional leadership in nations. I would want every speaker to give a something more like definition of what they think leadership is. So what do you think leadership in relation to nation building? Because we understand that leadership is very what's the word now? It's a very vast word, right? That in different areas of life. So I want us to just narrow it down to nation building. So what would you say is leadership in the sense of nation building? So I would want Miss Miriam to go first.
Can someone repeat the questions?
What is leadership? Your understanding and opinion about leadership and how it reflects to nation building.
All right. Leadership. Leadership is a being applied and it helps you to guide anywhere. So don't take some risk has been taken before the mission is occurring in the specific situations, and we're going to take a look at that. And you're going to take a look at this society, and we do see there's some leadership problems. How some consequences most terrible way or the best way. So we can distinguish that what is really leadership and what would take the other to the take steps on the future in a better way. The leader is the person that has a visional guidance and take all the society in a better way. So I do see that the leader has some acquaintances and also some qualifications. So we must be distinguished that what are those in a real way. I mean, in the real life, not only theoretical.
Okay, so I don't know if it was just me, but when people picking words that I don't know, I think the network. So I don't know if it was all bodies up. So I don't know if it's what and want to want to like run us through highlights to mention.
Well, I guess Daniel. I'm sorry if I pronounce wrong. Your voice, but I cannot hear your voice. Sorry for that.
Okay. Sorry for that. I think it's because I actually cannot hear your voice too.
Really?
So,
oh my gosh.
Yes, it's actually difficult picking. It's all modeled up. So I guess probably the network. But can you hear me now?
Yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then so I don't know if you can just, in 1 minute, just give us highlights of the things you mentioned while defining leadership in respect to nation building.
You mean a definition of leadership, right?
Yeah, like in your own words, your own opinion.
All right, then. Leader is the person that can able to guide in a vision. I mean, the society in a better way to the future.
Okay, so I got that a leader is someone who is able to pattern pattern a path for members of the society, right? More like a leader, a president. I think I got the word president. Someone who is able to make a pattern for people to follow. So yes, I think that's a very brilliant one. So I would want Mr. Adeleke to also give us his opinion on what leadership is in respect to nation building.
Yeah, thank you, Dami. Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, great, thank you. I think the echo has stopped. I don't really know what was responsible for that. But for me, personally, leadership are defined by two critical things. The first is direction, or what we call vision, and the second is organization, or what we can call order. Because in the absence of these two, we can't have leadership. Because if you are talking, because if a country doesn't have a vision of what they want to do, where they want to go, they can't even talk of how to get there. So there won't be direction, there's no vision. And in the process of getting there, there is need for organization or order to be able to get there. If these two are missing, of course, the next thing is, there's no leadership, or the leadership have failed. If you look at military coup or military incursion into governance in Africa, basically they've given these two things as the reason why they need to come in, and take over. They will tell you, oh, our country has lost direction, has lost focus. We don't even know where we are going. It's like we are moving, but we are not making progress. More like emotion without progress. And they will also tell you that, oh, there is breakdown of law and order. There is no, then we have to come in and take over. So that suggests to me that very critical in leadership. For example, look at the great NSAS movement that we had in Nigeria, revolution, or whatever you want to call it, from the youth. No direction and no order. At the end of the day, it failed. The cause might be genuine, but when you don't have a direction, when there's no vision and there is no organization, of course, we can't say a leadership. And even if we have one in that case, it has failed. So for me, critically, direction and organization are very critical and help us to define leadership.
Okay. Thank you very much for that very detailed explanation. So I like the fact that you gave us two very critical points that have to be if leadership would actually translate to nation building. So you mentioned organization and vision. So when there's no direction, when there's no vision, although there's progress because we are moving, but then the progress cannot be measured because we do not know where we are actually going. And then the part of organization, when there's order. Okay, thank God we have. That. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Well, my camera. I hope I can go on without the camera, or.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can maybe do that until.
Okay. Thank you.
Until the issue is resolved.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I was saying, you missed the part where Mr. Adeleke was giving us his opinion on leadership.
No. I mean, I heard that.
Oh, okay. All right, so
Yeah.
I think we'll just move on to you to get your opinion on leadership.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dami. Okay, leadership can be defined as a formal or informal processes of one leading in a capacity of influencer, developer, administrator, navigator, innovator, educator, and liberator to others. When we talk about leadership, it can be formal, it can be informal. But the point, like he mentioned, is that there has to be someone ahead by formal or really unknowingly that influence others, that guides others, that leads others, that speaks to others, or navigate the road, or innovate, and others can take advantage. There has to be someone to give instruction. And mind you, leadership, you can have good or bad, and these functions are still there. We can have evil genius and good genius, but the leap in its definition is that office ahead formal or informal, that guides into the right or to the left. And that is where that brings me when we talk about the nation building. By the definition of leadership, it really means that the level of a nation is determined by the quality of the leadership. There is no way leadership is critical. Yes, we have to play our part, but leadership is to play the greatest part, the greatest role. Without a quality leadership with quality functions, there can be quality nation or quality organization. So its key is primary to nation building. We should not deceive ourselves. We all have roles to play. Very well, we understand. But if you look at Dubai, look at the recent things happening at United Arab Emirates. If with what we see, we could really point that the quality of leadership determines what you get. And if you look at Africa, yes, God can bless a nation with resources, but if you don't have leadership that can be able to manage and multiply the resources, it will all be a waste. What's supposed to become asset will become of course, like what we see in so leadership is in nation building. Thank you. Thank you, Dami.
That means do we still have you? I think we have an issue with our network.
Okay. Oh, okay. So okay, maybe when she comes, maybe I'll be able to explain better. When I talk about that leadership is when I talk about one in the position, I mean the capacity of influencer, developer, administrator, navigator, innovator, educator, and like to others. Like the example you gave about the answer example. If we are people who influence, leadership in definition conglomerate. Leadership is not just about I influence others; it's part of it.
I think you have a back.
Okay. Oh, that means so it's a conglomerate in the sense that there's an area of influencing, of nurturing. Because we talk about leaders are born, leaders are the truth is that we are all born as leaders, but the cases of born as a leader is just like a state like gold, unrefined crude oil. Yes, this is a component, and this is of course reached, but until the refined. So and it takes a leader to groom a leader. So that's that point that the leadership role is critical to nation building. Very, very important. We need to really thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that opinion. So taking off from where you stop, want to shed light on the whole idea of leadership being born or grown. So do you think value that people are born with, or is something that you actually have to groom, that you have to build, and So what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, actually, for me, I believe it goes in both directions, because there are people that are born with traits of leadership, like organization. For some people, they don't like a disorganized environment. They love environment that are well organized. That's the trait of leadership. But there are also some aspects of leadership that you have to learn, some skills of leadership that you need to learn, to acquire, at least to be able to make impact. So it doesn't even matter whether you have those inborn qualities or those inborn abilities. The fact remains that there is still a place for skill acquisition. There is still a place for sharpening of those skills. There is still a place for mentoring, for coaching, for teaching. So for me, there are some qualities of leaders that are inborn, but those qualities still need to be developed and sharpened. So we can say is in two ways, but irrespective of the way we look at it, there is still a place for skill acquisition. So far, I feel it's more of skill acquisition, of learning, of mentoring, of coaching. Because if you are just born with those traits and they are not developed, they don't really make any impact. So I feel it goes in good direction, but tends more towards skill acquisition and sharpening of those skills.
Okay, thank you very much for that opinion, sir. So I think that corroborates the book Talent is Never Enough.
Talent is never
So
enough.
we've
So
always
we
learned
always
that
we to learn
regardless
that
of the fact that you have
regardless of the
talent,
fact that you have
really,
talent,
we should
really,
always grow
we should
in it
always
and
grow
build
and
on the
build on
skill.
this
So
skill.
this is only
So
a
this is
privilege
really a
that should be
privilege that
built on.
should be
So we
built
cannot
on.
always
So we
depend
cannot always
on
depend
like
on,
you rightly said,
like you
people
rightly
actually
said,
have
people actually
leadership
have
skills
leadership
that born with
skills
them.
that born
But
with
then
them.
these are
But
skills
then
that have
these
to
are
be
skills that
sharpened
have
over
to be
time for us
sharpened
to
over
get
time for us to get
leadership in its purest
leadership in its
form
purest form
out of what we have.
out of
So
what we
thank you
have.
very much for that
So thank you very
opinion.
much for
So
that
I learned
opinion. So I
that
learned that
although we can have
although we
both
can have
sides,
both
we
sides,
should
but
always
we should
tilt
always
more
tilt
towards
more towards
grooming
growing
your leadership
your
values
leadership
rather
values
than just
rather than just
relying on
relying
what
on
we already
what we
naturally
already
have.
naturally have.
So now,
So now,
moving on from
moving
there,
on
I would
from
want Miss
there, I
Miriam
want Miss
to shed more
Miriam
light
to
on
shed
certain
more light on
characteristics that she feels are
characteristics that
very
she
important that
are very
every, like once you
important.
call yourself a
Every
leader,
like
you
once you call yourself,
definitely have
you
to,
definitely
have
have
these values.
have to.
So what are certain
So what are
characteristics that
certain
are quite
characteristics
important
that are quite
in
important
the
in
leadership role?
the leadership role?
Sorry, that is meant for
Sorry,
who?
that is meant for who?
Miss
Miriam.
Miriam,
Miss Miriam.
Oh,
Yeah.
Miriam.
I guess you
Yeah.
asked
I
the
guess you asked the
characteristics of
perspective
the
of the
leader
leader
because I cannot
because
hear
I
you. Can
cannot
you
hear you.
again?
Okay, you cannot hear me. Is it better now?
Well, I think we can ask. Yeah.
Okay, so I said there should be certain characteristics that every leader must have. So which do you think
Yeah.
is the most important characteristic that everybody that calls or every person that calls himself or herself a leader definitely should have? So what in your opinion is that vital characteristic?
Or having vision, being devoted, and and motivated. Yes.
Okay, so having vision, being motivated. So would you
And
want
being
to, and being devoted? Yes. So would you want to pick out any of these values and actually, build on it and help us understand how to go about
well,
one of these
I couldn't understand. Actually, I cannot have your voice, so maybe someone else.
Okay, so I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, I do. I have some
Okay,
network issues. I may have some, so sorry for that.
okay, no, that's fine. So I was saying that would you want to build on any of these values? All of you mentioned three critical values to leadership. So would you want to build on any of these values as probably the most every leader must have?
You mean what is the main characteristic of the leadership to every leader has?
Yeah, every
All
leader
right,
must have.
being devoted. Actually,
Okay.
a leader can sacrifice sometimes their own values or their own needs, requirements, or their own desires in order to comply or in order to lead or guide or navigate the society in a I mean to have a leader, to become a leader. I mean, there is sometimes something that has to be sacrificed for a leader.
Yeah. All right. Very true. Very true. So being devoted is like in your opinion is very critical characteristic of every leader. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still on. Oh, okay. I think we lost him. Mr. King network. Okay, so Mr.
Okay, so Mr.
Adeleke, I don't
Adeleke,
know
I
if
don't know if
you'd want to
you
like
want
if
to
there's
if
anything
there's
that you think
anything
the youth should be supported, like a support that you think the youth need in grooming their leadership skills. As you have rightly mentioned that leadership should be rather than just relenting on what you naturally have. So, what support do you think the youth would need to better their leadership skills?
Yeah, actually, I strongly believe that these days that we are, there's a kind of clamoring going on that youth should take the leadership mantle. You should lead. You should be in the forefront. I have no issue with that. But the question I'm asking is: are they prepared? Are they well prepared? Are they well formed? Do they have the qualities at least to be able to deliver values? So I feel that rather than castigating them, I think what we need to do is like to help them, mentor them, and tutor them. And for us at Golden Oasis Foundation, we have set up an academy, Oasis Leadership Academy, because we realize that there is the need to build a new generation of credible, accountable, and ethical leaders for Africa. So basically, what the academy is all about is to offer leadership training, because in the society we have three sectors of society. We have the public sector, the social sector, the social sector, and the private or the business sector. But if you look around, you will see that it's only the business sector that largely over the years has really been focusing on leadership training, leadership, and that is the reason why they are doing well, even more than some government or some countries. So for us, we feel that leadership training should not only be in the business sector alone, though the social sector or the non-profit sector are also coming up. They also have leadership training for their people in that sector, and that sector also is doing very well. But if you look at the public sector, especially in Africa, there's no leadership training in place. Who train the politicians? Who train the public officers? Or what is expected of them on nation building? Nobody. Once you have, just to get into politics, get election, get elected, be voted for, and enter public office, some of them begin to learn on the job. They don't even know what is expected of them as a public leader. So for us at Golden Oasis Foundation, we have a plan in place to train young leaders from age 13 to 35 years on leadership. And we are working with an organization in Belgium to see how this training can be online, so that people can take the training online from any part of the world. And basically, what we are doing now to support the youth of Africa on leadership is we are put in place what is called African Change Ambassadors. It's actually a mentoring program for 2 years and is open for young people in Africa between the ages of 18 to 35 years. So there's going to be an application and like a kind of criteria for people to be selected and adopted, and it's going to run for 2 years so that we can give them mentoring. We'll have people across the world that are doing well in their respective fields that will give mentoring to these young people, and training on different topics that will also come up. So because we believe that in doing this, they'll be well equipped. They need to be equipped. It's like you are sending somebody to the war front without proper equipment. So for the young Africans to make impact in the society, they need to be equipped. They need to be trained. So this is one of the ways we believe that we can really help and impact them. And we are ready and committed to doing that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. David. That was quite so I like the fact that beyond just thinking and feeling like these are the things that you aid in Africa to better make use of leadership capacity. You are already making platforms for trainings already, and then academy, and then work is already ongoing. So I think that's personal. So I don't know if you would want to shed light on the application process, like how can people reach out to get admitted or register for the academy when it is out, and what channels can people update, regular updates on this thing?
Yeah, thank you, Dami. Basically, the first thing that we want to do now is to a kind of selection process where it's open to all African countries, to people of between ages 18 to 35 years. And we have 5 slots for each country, at least in Africa. We might not bring on board all the African countries, but we have only slots for 80 young Africans, 80. So five from each country. They will send in an application letter, applying for applying as a African Change Ambassador, and they are also going to give us a proposal of change, more like 1,000 words, a detailed write-up on any societal challenges in Africa that is in line with the SDGs. For us at Golden Oasis Spring Foundation, we have adopted 9 SDGs, which is SDGs 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 16. So these young Africans will identify any societal challenges in any African country, either in their country or at least in any African country, in line with these SDGs, and provide solution to those challenges, not more than 1,000 words. And our email is contact@gospringlink.org. That's where they will send the application and the proposal of change in Word format as an attachment. I hope that at the end of this session, probably on our Facebook page, we'll share more information there on how they can get across the road, so that these people, when we bring them together, we'll have a kind of a WhatsApp group that we're going to put them on, and also mentors from different parts of the world, that will be there coaching them, talking to them in different fields, either public sector, the business sector, or the social sector, so that we can have a better future. What we are preferring now is not a solution that will come in place next year or in 2 years or in 3 years' time. We're actually working towards the future. While we are trying to address the problem at the immediate, we also need to try to prevent it from happening again in the future. It might surprise you. We have a training on this same topic that we're looking at today for people in the public sector, a well prepared training. And we've written letters to some of the local governments, even political parties also in Nigeria, but up to now we've not gotten any response. Because governance is more than, I have an idea. You need to really understand the rudiments, what it takes. There is the emotional aspect of it. You can imagine there was a story of a president that we heard that was actually killed by his own bodyguards. These are the people that are meant to guide him. These are the people that eat with him, they drink with him, and they can still turn around and shoot him. It simply means that the man himself, probably he doesn't have emotional intelligence to know that, look, you in the midst of people, you are living well, large, and the people around you, in penury, in poverty, and they see the way you are living, spending the money lavishly. So we believe that there is a place for training on knowing the right thing and to be able to do that. And that is why we are setting up this program, African Change Ambassadors, under Oasis Leadership Academy. That is to help the young people of Africa.
Thank you very much, sir. That's quite commendable. So, I think we want to share the Instagram. People can always just follow for updates.
Yes. Our social media handle is Go Spring Link. Go, Go for Go Spring, as in spring, yeah. Then Link, Link, Go Spring Link. That is our handle across all our social media platforms, either on Twitter, Instagram, even on Facebook. Even our website is gospringlink.org, so that we can take this conversation, beyond this platform.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, I hope our listeners got that. So, Go Spring Link is the name across all social media platforms. Updates on this academy. So I think we have Mr. Blake here. Can you please let us know if you're fully okay? I think the network is really bad. So in and out.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm following.
Okay, sir. So around this off, I want you to just give some words of advice to young leaders out there that actually want to focus on the things. So what would be your words? To them? What they should look out for? What do you think they should intensify their efforts on So what really would be your advice to them?
All right. Thank you. Three things before the advice. Number one thing we have to understand generally is that, by nature, we are born leaders. Because in Genesis, say, let's create man, let's make man in the image of God. God is a leader. Uh, you may be a firstborn in your family, and if you are the lastborn, there are cousins that maybe one way or the other a leader to someone. You may be if you are at any level, you get to work, you're the last person to be employed. More people are coming after. One way or the other, we are all leaders. That's the primary thing, and that should create the sense of responsibility in us. That as a mother, as a father at home, the firstborn, the last, no matter if you are the lastborn in the house, your elder, once you begin to give birth, you are a leader to them. So one way or the other, we are created a leader. That's primary. You should create a sense of responsibility in us, that we really have to be conscious that somehow we are influencing someone. Somehow someone is looking at me. That's number one. Then number two, leadership is work. Leadership, in its best quality is work. And when we say work, it requires your night, your days, it requires your consistency, it requires your readiness. And one thing we really need to fight now, I like the academy that my friend is talking about, but I ask you, how many of our youth today actually know of SDG goals and SDG? How many of our youth? How many of our youth that actually know that there are plans, that 10 years time plan? How many of them even know that there was a goal that that had to be re-amended, amended for next 20 years again, next 30 years, next 50 years? So it means that we need to come to that point of making them realize that's one. And then the mentality of taking leadership as making money has to really be readdressed. That you make money by whatever you do make you a leader. One, primarily you are born, but in the quality, to be a formal and informal or quality leader training. And needs, again, you have to understand that when you start, it's stage by stage, it's level by level, and we must make it a primary, because at the end of it all, leadership is the only one that will stay as our legacy. The wealth will go, money will go, your health is when you are here. Whatever you make, leadership is your legacy. So it's worth living for, it's fighting for, it's worth putting all our effort, stay all night thinking and finding solutions, not only for you or for your immediate families, but for generations to come. So I really want to, it's time we all take it. And let's primarily talking about, some will say, what, they already know we win. I don't have PVC and I don't think I need PVC. If they force me to get PVC just to get job, the day of the election I won't go out. Then how do we build a nation if you don't participate, if you don't contribute, and if you don't have the right mind, patriotism for nation changing and nation building? What is my contribution? These are the things I need us to consider. Leadership is legacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I particularly like the
Particularly like the
closing
closing.
sentence that leadership is legacy. So I believe that the moment everybody has that ingrained in our minds that my leadership is my legacy. So whatever I do is what people would describe about me even when I'm not there. Are the things that people coming after me will see and you know be able to latch on to. I believe that it would be more intentional, yes, and that is like the crux of the whole discussion today. That leadership is not just something that we are born with, so we just have to, go the way we are born. Because we understand that there are different styles of leadership. So there's the autocratic leadership where you don't want to hear what other people are saying, you just want to be on your own. And then these are ways, and all of these styles are mostly our natural styles of leadership. So training comes in place to fine tune what we have, be able to see that somebody that was born an autocratic leader can now come and begin to, welcome people's ideas and be more, what's the word now? Be more, is it liberating in that sense and allow other people's ideas in that sense. So that's where being intentional about.
Oh, since you lost Dami there.
So I like the okay, okay, I think I can get people.
Okay, you're back. We lost you before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I was saying, all of those things, audio discussion, I was able to pick out words vision, like direction, like being intentional, like training, and then the academy was a very brilliant idea. So I would want our listeners to actually put these things in mind. Leadership is not just something that falls on you, it is a deliberate work. So it is something you progress and you get better at. So for more information and for because this is a series actually, so we'll have other programs in this line, but within leadership, but then different areas of leadership. Because like I said when we started out, leadership is a very vast part of our life. So we have leadership in business, we have leadership in different walks of life, and we have different things that are important, different characteristics that make up a very good leader. So all of these things are things we'll be touching through this series. So I would want us to stay tuned. Follow us on our social media platforms so you can, get updates as to the academy and what we have cooking because we definitely have a lot in stock for you as you go on in this journey with us. So thank you very much for being with us through the program and would love to see you during our next program. Thank you very much to all our speakers, and thank you to everyone who joined throughout and stayed through the program. We believe that subsequent series, subsequent sessions would be better. Like we would definitely enjoy subsequent sessions. So thank you to everyone. Till we meet again. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.